Hello, World Wide Web. This is the 8th episode on our series on interpersonal neurobiology, brain integration, and depression. This week, we're looking at the 8th level of integration, which is interpersonal integration, which is the namesake of this theoretical model of the mind, interpersonal neurobiology. So, healthy interpersonal integration means having a healthy and differentiated self that is able to have stable interpersonal relationships with other people. So our brain is a social organ. We know this from years of research, and we know this from looking at our own evolutionary psychology. So we need other people in our life in order to be healthy and happy. And Daniel Siegel, who's the father of this model, likes to use mirror neurons to illustrate this point of the brain being a social organ. So what he found, and what researchers found when they were studying monkeys, is that when a monkey was eating a banana, and there was another monkey watching this other one eat a banana, their brains looked similar, right? So what that means is that witnessing the actions, behaviors, and feelings of others profoundly affects our own brain in a similar way. Humans share an enormous amount of neural architecture with monkeys and primates more specifically. So our own social structures are more complex. We have relationships not with just a band of other monkeys, we have relationships with thousands of people and potentially the entire world. So our neural architecture is a lot more complex, and this ripples out in bigger ways for humans than it does for primates and monkeys. So our own mirror neurons cause us to feel what others feel, and we have the ability to empathize because of this. It also allows us to feel less alone when we're experiencing some sort of unique difficulty, and it allows us to feel a profound sense of connection with other people, specifically our loved ones. So healthy interpersonal integration is the connection of two minds, which increases each individual's coherence, right? So the sum of the parts is greater than just the parts. Impairment of healthy interpersonal integration is characterized by two extremes. So when you have problems in this area, it looks like one of these two things in one of its extreme versions. So at one end is isolation. At the other end is highly unboundaried relationships. So if we isolate ourselves to help us recharge at times, that's fine. But for many of us with depression, isolation further breeds our despair. And this may come from an unconsciously learned lesson that long ago pain, difficulty, suffering is shameful, and it's to be kept hidden from others. And we also may feel that being in a relationship with other people actually is not particularly recharging for us. Actually, it just requires a lot of work. So that's one end. On the other end, if we have boundaryless relationships, it may appear to some people as if our relational lives are really full and rich, but this may actually reflect a difficulty in discerning which relationships are healthy for us and which are not. We might have a fear of saying no to other people. Maybe we unconsciously learned that we have to always meet other people's expectations, no matter how ridiculous, or even if they're clearly not good for us. We have a real hard time knowing what's okay. So another example might be that we always find fault and blame in other people, or we expect them to meet our emotional needs, even when they're unrealistic or not healthy. So healthy interpersonal integration meets somewhere in the middle of these two extremes. So it means having an awareness of our boundaries, what's right, what's wrong, while also being very much open to the feelings, thoughts, and experiences of others. So in psychotherapy, we might use the relationship between the therapist and the client as a starting point for exploring interpersonal integration and difficulty. So therapy gives us a chance to illuminate and explore some of our assumptions about what the therapist is thinking about us or feeling about us. The therapist might also offer us something that we've never had before, which is non-judgmental acceptance and curiosity about our own mind, right? We're not trying to make somebody be a certain way or do a certain thing for us, simply there to support and explore and be curious. So another way to explore this in therapy is through group. Group therapy is thinking about maybe having several therapists in the same room with you at the same time, right? If you have other people that are in there working on their own relationships, it gives us a multiplicity of perspectives. So that's going to do it for this week. Interpersonal integration, the 8th level of integration. Hope you've enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next one.